Hello everyone, with the Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, September 18, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section, but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, we can see that the update that just came out at 6:25 p.m. Jamaica time still shows that we have Tropical Storm Gabrielle just to the northeast of the Eastern Caribbean, and we still have that code yellow right here of the coast of Africa that could develop when it gets into this hatched area right here across the main development region. And you might have noticed that that other code yellow within the code yellow has vanished, so the hurricane center is stating that that entity no longer has a chance to develop. But if we take a look at the infrared right here, we can see the clouds, the showers and thunderstorms associated with Tropical Storm Gabrielle right in here. We can see that tropical wave right here off the coast of Africa that should develop as it pushes towards the west-northwest as well. Regarding the latest from the Hurricane Center about this code yellow in general, they've stated here, let's read it. It states here, let's see, okay, a tropical wave along the west coast of Africa is producing disorganized thunderstorm activity. Some slow development of the system is possible over the weekend through the middle of next week while it moves westward or west-northwestward across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. And we see that they've given the area a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And if we take a look at what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models are showing regarding where this entity should be located, we are not really sure, but we see a lot of moisture somewhere here across the main development region on the Euro. This is valid for 6Z. On Tuesday, September 23, at that time, we see where future Gabrielle should be located right in here, just to the northeast of Bermuda. Where does the GFS have both entities? Well, we see a lot of moisture sprawled out across the main development region all the way over into the Eastern Caribbean, but we see that Gabrielle should be located somewhere, similar to where the Euro has it. Very interesting. We'll see how all of this plays out. Clearly, we're not really seeing anything organized regarding the code yellow. Don't see any crazy isobars, no red L that represents an area of low pressure. Just a lot of strung out moisture, maybe associated with the tropical wave. I know that if something should form after Gabrielle, the next name on the list is Humberto. Taking a look regarding the latest on Humberto, as a matter of fact, let's see if we can get the close-up look at Humberto. So the latest here showing all of the thunderstorms definitely firing up today. People were really questioning, is this really a tropical wave, because it definitely lacked a lot of thunderstorms. But we see that by this hour, a lot of thunderstorm has started blossoming across the center of circulation that is spinning right in here. If you can make it out, you can see all of the reds into the blacks, into the grays, into the purples, that deep convection. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of lightning in there too, but this map doesn't really show the lightning at all. And we can also see that it is definitely being sheared from southwest to northeast, which is why it was definitely struggling for the past 24 hours. Upper level wind shear is definitely tearing the top of the thunderstorms off, definitely weakening the system. But the Hurricane Center is stating that it should maintain that tropical storm status. By the way, look how huge the current wind field is, a tropical storm force wind field. Luckily, it's not going to be affecting land, but the wind is definitely going to be churning up the sea. Some high wave heights out there, possibly, you know, going to be affecting some shipping lanes, if not the fishes. Clearly maintaining that tropical storm status in the S all the way up to Sunday. Then by around Sunday afternoon, it should become an H. We know that represents hurricane status. As it passes just to the east of Bermuda, we see the cone of uncertainty changing color right here, so they're not really sure where it should be located. Will it be on the eastern side? Will it be on the western side closer to Bermuda? Only time will tell exactly what it does, but they're certain that it should become a hurricane by Sunday as we head into next week. But we know these things can change tomorrow. We can see a whole different forecast from the Hurricane Center, so we have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt. And as of right now, it is packing maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. We know that tropical storms usually pack maximum sustained winds of anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour winds. So it's definitely up there, medium range tropical storm. Currently moving towards west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we actually have a tropical wave right here across Haiti, just to the east of Jamaica. It's definitely going to be bringing some rainfall tomorrow across Jamaica. We're grateful for that. We've been dying for some good rainfall, and it looks like we're going to be getting that rainfall. If you're going out tomorrow, especially during the afternoon, look out for that rainfall across eastern, central, western, and even some southern parishes. We're definitely going to be getting in on some rainfall for sure. Bring your rain gear with you, umbrella, raincoat. Definitely look out for that rainfall. We can see right here that symbol that represents tropical storm Gabriel. To the east of Gabriel, another tropical wave, and that other tropical wave that just came off the coast of Africa that has a low chance of development. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, we can make out these entities. The clouds associated with the tropical wave definitely bring some thunderstorms to portion of Haiti and Dominican Republic. You can also see some leftover clouds associated with another tropical wave. We can see Gabriel right here. We can definitely see the low level spin associated with it before it started to blossom with the convection as we headed into the evening, into the night right here. We can also make out the clouds associated with the other tropical wave that had a low chance of development within the next 7 days but no longer has anything. And we can see the clouds associated with that other tropical wave that the Hurricane Center is still monitoring for possible development over the next 7 days. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, September 18, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast of parts of some eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica on Thursday afternoon. I know that eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? At around 1:15 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted not only here on our Twitter page over the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page over the Jamaica, on our TikTok page over the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page over the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we can see that at around 1:25 p.m., we definitely got in on the afternoon thundershower activity across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes, just as predicted. This was when it was just starting out, so we see the clouds building across sections of central to western Portland, sections of St. Andrew, St. Catherine, sections of southern St. Mary, into sections of Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, Manchester right in here. Then after this, we started to see some thunderstorms firing across some northern into western parishes for sure, but no post was made after that. But we can definitely see what took place. The visible satellite images of Jamaica right here showing the clouds, especially across some central and western parishes, pushing from east to west as well. And if we take a look right here, the infrared showing all of the thunderstorms that took place, all of these blues, greens, yellows, oranges, and reds, even into the blacks, into the grays that represent that cumulonimbus cloud cover. Definitely gotten on the thunderstorms. Look at the sparkling white dots that represent the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across section of St. Anne into Trelawney, section of St. James into Hanover, Westmoreland, the cloud cover, especially across section of St. Elizabeth. We got some thunderstorms into section of Manchester as well. And then by the time of recording, we see that all of the thunderstorms have pushed off towards the west of us. Just some leftover clouds. Don't even see any sparkling white dots, no thunder, well, no lightning. in those clouds at all, but there could still be some rainfall underneath some of that. And the Jamaican Doppler radar confirming where we had that rainfall today. All of these greens into the yellows, into the oranges, representing that moderate to heavy rainfall for sure, pushing from east to west across the island. So just about most of the central and western parishes definitely got in on some amount of rainfall for sure, with the exception of the western ends of some eastern parishes, especially Portland right in here. Western Portland definitely got on some of the activity as well. And we have the confirmation of the rainfall here. The live camera from C Jamaica's YouTube channel showing Little London in Westmoreland. This was at around 16:55, which is actually 4:55. And we can see the windshield wipers is definitely on at that time in Westmoreland to show that we're starting to get on some light to moderate rainfall at that time, just to confirm that we got some rainfall out west today. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit C Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today to this channel so that you don't miss out. Taking a look at the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint quite the picture of where we might have had that rainfall today, especially across sections of some inland areas of some central parishes and sections of some western parishes as well. And we definitely have confirmation from some of our followers about what the weather was like in their area today. We have Randall Green sitting, good evening weather Jamaica. We got some rain at Thunderstorm in Brownstown, St. Anne today. Thanks for confirming. We have Stria Compassion sitting, rain, thunderstorm in Upper St. Andrew today. Thanks for confirming, Stria. Even on our Instagram page, we had the comments coming in. This one from one Ryan__ stating, sunny in Hanover so far. That was posted 4 hours ago, but I wish you had confirmed if you actually got that rainfall here on Instagram, Ryan. I'm pretty sure that you got the rainfall in Hanover. We also have Zinzan_mommy stating sunny in Hanover. Well, that was 5 hours ago. This was 4 hours ago. More than likely, you guys got some rainfall after that, I'm sure. Look at the clouds. Look at the thunderstorms pushing through Hanover right in here from east to west. I'm sure you got some thunderstorms before the day was done. Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website, the latest Jamaican Doppler radar image, the latest Cuban Doppler radar image, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar imagery, and the latest Cayman radar. We want to see exactly what's taking place right now across Jamaica. So the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing 0005 UTC, which is actually 7:05 p.m. Don't see much of anything across the island. We do see some leftover clouds associated with the thunderstorms that affected the island today, though, just to the west of us. The latest Jamaican Doppler radar image is showing 0001Z, which is actually 7:01 p.m. And we can actually make out the rain bands right here. We see the greens into the slight yellows. They're representing, well, that's representing some light to moderate to even some slightly heavy rainfall, especially in the yellows right there. Unfortunately, the Cuban Doppler radar right here glitched out. We see that it is still showing 3:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2:40 p.m. Jamaica time. That was the latest. At that time, we saw some rain bands right over here across sections of some central and western parishes. The Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar confirming some rainfall right here across sections of southeastern Cuba. We see the blues, we see the greens, we see that rainfall that's light to moderate, even some slightly heavy rainfall into the yellows for sure. And we can make out some rain bands right here across the western portions of Haiti as well, associated with that tropical wave that should be pushing into the Jamaica area on Friday and bring us some decent rainfall. Regarding the latest here from the Cayman radar site, it's actually confirming that rainfall that we mentioned on the infrared out west and the rainfall that we saw on the Jamaican Doppler radar. Just some light rainfall in the blues, nothing significant out to sea to the west of Negril at all. We can also see some light to moderate rain bands here just to the west and to the northwest of the Cayman Islands, but nothing really significant taking place at this time across land. Regarding what's taking place right now, the live camera from C Jamaica's YouTube channel showing the Bagua Gorge in St. Catherine. Definitely not looking like anything is happening right now. Fair weather is persisting as we speak. We have people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place. And that should be the order of the evening into the night. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Friday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in the grays that represents 0, that's average temperatures. I know the average temperature for the month of September across Jamaica is around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 32.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere around 32 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on a Friday. And we're indeed grateful we don't see any maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS online Twitter page I have to highlight. And we're grateful for that because we know that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or AC to cool us down. So we're grateful no outages are being highlighted here for the island on Friday. Either way, if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you still, we have some tips right here to beat the heat. It states here, seek shade when outside. Eat fresh, try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits. Rest, make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak, take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugary drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the white. It's in those reds. And we can see some dry air across the main development region right in here, in and around where we have Gabrielle. Not really much dry air these days. Atmosphere definitely moistening up, especially across the Caribbean into the main development region, the Southwestern Atlantic, the Gulf, in and around Central America. And that's what we want. We want more moist air in the blues, that we get more clouds in the grays, that we get more rainfall across our area, so that we get more cooler temperatures and more water in our pipes. But regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days now, so we're heading into September 18. Is it September? Okay, so we're heading into September 19, September 20, and September 21. And as you can see here, for the next 3 days, Jamaica should be in the clear. Nothing in the way of Saharan dust, but clearly some Saharan dust is approaching the Caribbean. We see the greens into the yellows into the oranges pushing and making it into the Lesser Antilles by around September 21. But clearly it's not that vigorous of a plume at all. If it was that vigorous of a plume, we'd see more oranges, we'd see more pinks. So it is just the low end of the scale in terms of Saharan dust. Not saying that we can't see some of that in the atmosphere, but it's not going to be that significant, to trigger respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis issues in some people at all. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, clearly the lowest waves are across the Caribbean into the Gulf. Look at these light shades of blues representing anywhere from 0.5 of a meter wave height, maybe even as far as a meter wave height. Highest waves are where we have Gabrielle right over here. You see the dark blues into the purples into the pinks, representing anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 6 meter, maybe even 7-8 meters in terms of the wave height. Could be more. And that's because of the tropical storm force winds spinning anti-clockwise around the center of circulation of Gabrielle, averaging anywhere from 25 knots all the way up to the tropical storm status winds for sure. We know that these winds in knot that we're seeing on the wind map, we're talking about anywhere from 34 to 64 knot winds for sure. So it definitely is what's going to be churning up all of the seas, that tropical storm force wind action over there. But look at the Caribbean, not really much in the way of winds at all. Tomorrow is going to be a dead day. I mean, it's the perfect day for the sea around the entire island. Look at the waters around Jamaica. 0.3 of a meter wave height to the north of Portland. 0.4 of a meter wave height to the south of St. Thomas. 0.3 of a meter wave height to the south of Clarendon. 0.3 of a meter wave height to the north of St. Anne. To the north of Hanover. 0.2 of a meter wave height to the north of, to the south of Westmoreland. 0.3 of a meter wave height. That's because of the winds that are expected. Look at the winds. This is a very interesting forecast for real, because I have no idea what's going to be taking place. Where is the easterly flow that we usually get? None of that. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be a case where thunderstorms push off towards the west tomorrow. Look at where the winds are pushing. We're getting some kind of a northwesterly flow on the north coast, a kind of southeast or southwesterly flow on the south coast. So look at where the air is piling up. across section of some central and maybe eastern parishes. So are you saying that we're going to be getting in on the daytime heating, causing clouds to build and push towards that direction, to our direction for once? Because usually everything is central and western parishes. So very interesting forecast is being highlighted here. So it could be a case where we get thunderstorms across some central and eastern parishes tomorrow. And the tropical wave is pushing in, so it's definitely going to be enhancing the thunderstorms across our area. And look at that, the upper level wind shear still coming in from the northeast tomorrow. So even if we get some thunderstorms to formulate across section of some central and eastern parishes, those cloud tops are going to be sheared off towards the south, definitely bring more of the thunderstorms to section of some southern parishes for sure. So look out for rainfall. Tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day in terms of the weather, and we're going to be looking at what the rainfall forecast maps here are showing. First of all, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are showing 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have to highlight these because the other night when we saw some rain bands in the early morning hours, I didn't really believe that, but look what happened. We got some rainfall from some clouds across Haiti pushing into Jamaica in the early morning hours. Now we have to highlight these just in case. So both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are showing 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 a.m. Jamaica time. And at around 2 a.m, look at what both the Euro and the GFS models are showing. We're seeing blues represent rainfall surrounding, if not engulfing, the island. Not saying that this is going to be happening. It could happen. It might not happen at all. These early morning rainfall forecasts we have to take with a grain of salt. But as of right now, the Euro definitely showing rainfall across the northeast, across the waters to our south, across the eastern end of the island. The GFS showing rainfall surrounding us for sure, especially across the northern and northeastern parts. We see some rainfall across the western end to the south of us. This is 2 a.m. Will it actually verify? Only time will tell. Who is actually going to wake up that time and check? I'll definitely be sleeping. At around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time though, so 9 a.m, we're actually seeing some consensus for some morning rainfall across the northeast, maybe section of St. and into St. Mary, into Portland here on the GFS, maybe spilling into section of St. Thomas, eastern St. Andrew. The Euro showing something similar, St. Mary, Portland, section of St. Andrew into St. Thomas getting in on some of the action. Interesting for the morning, but look at the afternoon now. And the thing is, it started even earlier than this, from like 1 p.m, 2 p.m. But we're going to be showing the 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. I mean, look at the rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes on both the Euro and the GFS, especially across the south coast. Look at the dark blues into the greens. That is representing some decent amount of rainfall for sections of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. Look out for some decent rainfall on Friday for sure. It's gonna be a wet one, and we're all here for it. We definitely want that rainfall to cool down the temperatures and keep the water in our pipes. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS that are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday are showing that it's going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. The Euro going up to at least 0.91 of an inch of rainfall. That's almost an inch of rainfall. The GFS going up to at least 0.88 of an inch of rainfall. It could be more, it could be less. Take these forecasts with a grain of salt. Just look out for some rainfall on Friday, especially during the afternoon. And whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted, and whatever happens, we'll definitely take it, because we are in the month of September. And in St. Andrew, whose bar graph is being shown right here, we usually receive around 105 millimeters of rainfall. That's about the same as 4.1 inches of rainfall. While in St. Elizabeth, we usually receive around 125 millimeters of rainfall in the month of September. That's around 4.9 inches of rainfall. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of September or for the entire year, you can visit nomadseason.com, and that website to show you that information right here. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next 168 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens. That represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. So we just looked at Friday's forecast. Now it is time to look at what is expected on Saturday morning. 12Z on Saturday is actually 7 a.m. We see some greens to the north and to the south of us. Then by Saturday afternoon, Maybe some rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes once again. Very interesting. What does the GFS show? On Saturday morning, we see rainfall across the eastern end, the rainfall across the northern end of the island as well. Then on Saturday afternoon, look at that, rainfall once again across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. Interesting. What do we see on Sunday morning? On Sunday morning, we're seeing moisture to the northeast of us across the western end, to the waters to our south. Then on Sunday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes again. What does the GFS show? Sunday morning, rainfall to the west of us, to the south of us, to the east of us. Then on Sunday afternoon on the GFS, rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. What do we see on a Monday morning? Monday morning, still having some moisture across the eastern end, across the southern end of the island as well. Then on a Monday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall mainly across sections of some central and western parishes on the Euro. What does the GFS show? Monday morning, rainfall to the south of us, rainfall to the east of us. Then on Monday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some northern and western parishes. What do we see on Tuesday morning here on the Euro? Rainfall to the south of us. Then on Tuesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Tuesday morning, rainfall to the west of us, to the south of us, to the across the eastern end. Then on Tuesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the Wednesday morning forecast on the Euro look like? We're seeing rainfall to the south of us across the eastern end. Then on Wednesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Thursday, September 25. Not really seeing much of anything across Jamaica at that time. What does the GFS show? On a Wednesday morning, rainfall to the north of us. Wednesday afternoon, what do we see? Rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. Then we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Thursday, September 25. And we can see some rainfall across sections of some central and eastern parishes at that time. So a bit different from what the Euro is showing at the end of the 7-day run, Thursday, September 25. We'll see it actually plays out. And whatever happens, I would definitely be here to keep you posted with whatever occurs. And regarding the total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Thursday, September 25. And as usual, we're seeing the dark reds into the purples and the pinks that will now represent anywhere from 2 all the way up to 5 inches of rainfall across sections of northern South America into Central America. Some of those rainfall totals also affecting the Bahamas into Hispaniola and portions of the Lesser Antilles. And if we look at both the Euro and the GFS, some of these very spots are shaded in the very same color, so those areas could pick up in on some amount of isolated flash flooding, while other areas that are shaded in the most part, for we're talking about the Greater Antilles, we're talking about the Lesser Antilles. Most of these areas are shaded in the yellows into the oranges and the reds, representing anywhere from an inch or less of rainfall. So that's the rainfall that should be taking place across those spots within the next 7 days. But regarding Jamaica's rainfall totals for the next 7 days, both the Euro and the GFS models right here are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Thursday, September 25. The Euro showing all the greens into the yellows into the slight oranges. That represents a total of at least 58 millimeters of rainfall right here in Trelawney on the Euro. The GFS is showing all of these greens into the yellows into the oranges. That represents a total of maybe up to 60 or more millimeters of rainfall, especially across the cockpit country, especially across western parishes. We'll see it actually plays out. And whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, there's a tropical wave right here across Haiti that's going to be bringing us some thunderstorms across Jamaica. On Friday, we see the swirling clouds associated with Gabrielle, and then the burst of thunderstorms right here at the end of the day. We see the clouds associated with that other tropical wave right here off the coast of Africa that has a low chance of development. Some decent moisture in and around Puerto Rico and the Leeward Islands today. And if we zoom in on those spots, we're going to be seeing those rain bands. So we can definitely see that moderate to heavy rainfall to the south of Puerto Rico, to the northeast of St. Martin. Some rainfall in and around St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda. And if we load these images from earlier today, we saw where we definitely have some decent rainfall affecting St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, the US and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, intersection of the Dominican Republic. And regarding the Barbados radar, not really seeing much of anything across Barbados right now, but we do see some isolated hit or miss light to moderate rain bands just to the west of there, to the south of there as well, affecting section of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada. Looking south, we see some rain bands right here just to the northeast of Tobago. Not really seeing much of anything across Trinidad at this time. But regarding the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across sections of northern portion of the Bahamas, section of Florida, some rain bands right here into Cuba. We also see some rain bands right here affecting southeastern Nicaragua, section of Colombia right in here. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing that from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday, these areas should be getting some rainfall. Not saying that's going to be raining from now all the way until then, but within the next 24 hours, these are the spots that should be picking up at least an inch of rainfall or less in the reds, into the oranges, into the yellows, into the greens. We're referring to Florida, the Bahamas, section of Cuba, section of Jamaica, section of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, section of St. Kitts and Nevis. We're also seeing some rain bands definitely in store for portions of Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, sections of Barbados, so too section of Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, section of Western Guyana into Venezuela, so too the ABC Islands, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, the Yucatan getting in some of the action as well. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS mods are in agreement with this forecast. And we know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to actually take place. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next, US National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook on the eastern Pacific side of things is looking like. We're seeing that we still have that code red right here to the west of Mexico, and we have a brand new code yellow to the south of Mexico. So something that has a 30% chance of formation within the next 7 days, and something that has a 70% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. The code red right here definitely looking formidable. Who knows, maybe it's already a tropical depression, if not a tropical storm, but it's on its way there. And we see that code yellow right here definitely looking almost similar to that code red. Lots of thunderstorms to the south of Mexico as we speak. I know that if something should form down there, the next names on the list after Mario are Narda and Octave. So let's see if we actually get those to form. Regarding what's taking place on the western Pacific side of things, we have actually 3 tropical storms over there now. We have tropical storm Maitag right here to the southeast of China, just off coast Hong Kong. To the east of the Philippines, we have tropical storm Ragasa. I'm not butchering that name. And to the far northeast or east-northeast of Ragasa, just to the southeast of Japan, we have tropical storm Neoguri. Very interesting names. We can see all 3 entities right here on the infrared. That one right here about to hit China. That other one right here to the east of the Philippines. And the other one right here just to the east-northeast of that one, or to the southeast of Japan right in here. We know that we usually highlight the Western Pacific because we know that we have a lot of friends or relatives who live or work in this part of the world. China, Japan, you name it. Regarding the first entity, I don't even remember what it's called. It's just called Tropical Storm Maitag. So Maitag is right here packing 40 knot winds. We know that anywhere from 34 to 64 knot winds are classified as a tropical storm. So it's a low-end tropical storm pushing in right here into southeastern China near Hong Kong actually. So we could get on some flood footage coming out shortly. I'll definitely highlight those if that takes place. Regarding the other tropical storm right here, what's its name again? Ragasa. It is currently packing maximum sustained wind of 35 knots. So it's a low-end tropical storm as well. Look at that, it's expected to increase in intensity. We're talking about 50 knots, 60 knots. As a matter of fact, over the next couple of days, it's moving slowly. This is where it's going to be located on, tomorrow. Still almost similar to where it's located now. Then September 20th, almost the same spot. Then we start to see it picking up speed by around September 22, pushing and threading the needle between Taiwan and the Philippines right here. Look at the wind speeds that are expected, 115 knots. That is at peak intensity. I know that anywhere from 113 to 134 knot winds are representative of a category 4 cyclone. So it's going to be a typhoon. They're predicting that it could be a super typhoon. We know that super typhoons are anywhere from category 4 or 5 on this side of the world. So interesting times are ahead. And look at that, it's looking like it's even going to the same direction that the other tropical storm is currently affecting right now. So it looks like they're going to be receiving back-to-back systems. Very interesting and very bad at the same time. Regarding the other system right here to the southeast of Japan, what's it called again? It is called Niaguru, and they're stating that right now it is packing 35 knot winds. It's a tropical storm, low end. It's expected to push up towards the northwest, like it is pushing towards Japan, but we see that it's starting to recurve to the north. So who knows, maybe it might just curve to the north and then curve to the northeast. We see how wide the cone of uncertainty gets though, so anything can actually take place right in here. It could definitely push more west. It could push more to Japan, or it could just curve towards the east. We'll see it actually plays out, or whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.